Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So after some more cascading downward, Bitcoin is now hovering at around $28,000. Boy, it's amazing to think that just on Sunday we were trading upward of almost $30,000 per coin, $29,964 to be precise. And this trend has moved down. Now, I mean, these are part of the fluctuations that we're going to see during this bull run, this downturn, and it's funny how sentiment really does shift. I'm seeing people in the comment section not interested in the charts, and I'm sure these are the same people who are very, very interested when we're seeing the pumps. From my perspective, it's good to just keep a thumb on the pulse of, where the market is going and why cryptocurrencies are moving the way they are moving. Like, for example, XRP moving downward, albeit not by as much, because of the Bitcoin downturn. That is, what I'm presuming here. We're finding support, though, here in this zone. XRP right now trading at about 46 cents, so not far from where it was yesterday, 45.9. Yesterday it was at about 46.6. So just giving you guys some perspective on the market. I mean, I don't tend to dwell on these charts for very, very long. When there's not a lot of movement. Again, we're seeing low volume. So even here, when we go to CoinMarketCap, we can see, within the last 24 hours, there really hasn't been that much movement for the top cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is down a smidge. We got Ethereum down a little bit, BNB coin down about 3%, and XRP down just under 1%. So market isn't moving much. I know it's more exciting when it is moving, right? Nevertheless, we've been getting some news that has been shaking the XRP community on Twitter. From Hold It Here on Twitter, Ripple and the SEC undisclosed meeting set to take place on Monday, May the 8th, 2023. Now, that date is very, very close to that May 6th date that John Deaton was mentioning a few weeks ago, doing some brief math and suggesting that Judge Torres, based on previous cases, that, it would be May 6th that she did come to a final verdict. I mean, it is already May the 2nd, and the XRP community waiting with bated breath. And a few people have been spreading this rumor around. We're wondering, is there any real evidence that anything is really happening on May the 8th? Agent Smith saying, I won't hold my breath. Don Pinier here saying they have had a few undisclosed meetings recently. So far, nothing has come of it. Prosperity Fund saying, nope, summary judgment comes first. So, a lot of skeptics, obviously. Eric here saying there's nothing via Yahoo News or Finance on this. KJL also putting it quite straight here. It is not how litigation works in the United States. Once the case is sent to the judge, she is required to make a decision. The time for parties to settle has passed already. Stop this nonsense about intervention of the matter. In the USA, once a case goes to the judge, parties cannot interfere. Is that true? We're going to get into this, guys. Is there something going on? I mean, there just isn't enough information to definitively say yay or nay. Michael Branch here also posting this article with regards to these rumors. And guys, this is just it right now. I'm not saying that this is in fact happening. I am saying, though, that these are just rumors as it stands today, as of the recording of this video. So, these rumors have been swirling through the Twitterverse like a digital wildfire that a meeting is supposed to take place on May the 8th. The speculation was sparked by a viral tweet from Blockchain Daily, which cites an unconfirmed source. It led to a frenzy of hope and anticipation within the XRP community. However, Fox Business reporter Eleanor Turret, who has been covering the case for a substantial period of time, has since doused the excitement by clarifying that the meeting is not going to happen, attributing it to the Twitter rumor mill. So Eleanor Turret, who would, probably have some of the best information there, considering she is a journalist, she's got her insider sources. She is saying she has not heard of it, so, chances are it is fake news. Ripple boss Brad Garlinghouse has repeatedly forecasted that the agency's lawsuit against the company would be resolved in the first half of the year. A favorable outcome for Ripple would significantly impact the XRP market and potentially swing open the doors for further growth and adoption of the digital currency. Well, I mean, even if people did believe in this rumor, it's not as though they are acting on it. Price still staying relatively stagnant. Maybe last night, maybe this volume bar had to do with a bit of a price uptick, maybe. But, I'm just guessing at this point. We're not seeing any concrete evidence, and even Eleanor Turret has now dispelled the rumor. John Deaton also going on the record. Quite a few people ask, why would Ripple settle if they won? First, I didn't say Ripple would agree to the same terms of a settlement they would have agreed to 2 years ago. So that's an interesting point, right? With regards to a settlement, I mean, if there were talks, it is 2 years on, and this is what I said. I don't remember what video it was. I mean, we talk about the Ripple case in many videos. Nevertheless, the evidence that is now out is very different than it was 2 years ago. After discovery, Ripple's lawyers have learned so much more about the SEC. We have seen the SEC missteps, which is also, something that we should take into consideration. And Ripple's lawyers have to probably take into consideration, obviously, if they are trying to form a case against the SEC. So settlement parameters would certainly not be the same as they were 2 years ago. It all depends on the ruling itself, says John Deaton. So at this point, coming from a lawyer, he's saying it depends on the ruling itself. Does Coinbase and Kraken immediately relist or wait for an appeal? That is also a very interesting point, and perhaps a clue that we should be paying attention to, with regards to the XRP case, because if these major exchanges decide to relist, well, that is going to speak volumes. John Deaton continues by saying, does Bank of America, a Ripple partner, feel comfortable with the decision or wait to see if Judge Torres gets overturned if the SEC appeals her ruling? So another clue, look at what the partners in the United States of America will do once we do get a ruling. Remember, the SEC can file a notice of appeal and withdraw it later. If the SEC told Ripple it would issue a statement that all future sales of XRP are not securities, not saying it would, and not appeal if Ripple agrees to pay $50 million, for example, I believe the certainty and immediate return of liquidity to the market makes Brad Garlinghouse a check in seconds. So that's just it, right? Ripple, I'm sure, is not opposed to paying a fine, but they do need to know for a fact that XRP are not securities moving forward because of how they plan on utilizing XRP in their grander, plan for liquidity. If Judge Torres' decision is in Ripple's favor and it facilitates liquidity to return to the U.S. and it causes U.S. businesses to not worry about pissing off the SEC if they use XRP, then that is a different story. So there you go, John Deaton giving his 2 cents on, the matter with regards to a settlement. He also addressed the report, the original report from Blockchain Daily here. Reportedly, Ripple and the SEC to hold undisclosed meeting on May the 8th, says an unconfirmed source. And so John Deaton also dispelling this from a legal standpoint. This is not how a settlement happens. First, I believe the only time a settlement occurs in this case is after a ruling by Judge Torres, and that happens only if Ripple gets a big victory, so Gensler could save face and get a political win via a settlement. So what he is suggesting here is Judge Torres rules in favor of Ripple. Ripple gets the win. So, instead of, I guess, the SEC appealing, they talk to each other and settle something out. Or maybe what he means here is, it would be not necessarily a huge win for Ripple, but a win nonetheless. And within that win, Gensler would also see a victory, just to save face, a political win, as John Deaton puts it here. But he says, sorry, that is not going to happen. How is Gensler going to agree that ongoing and future sales of XRP are not securities and pursue Coinbase and others? So, we got to think of what the SEC's motivations are in other facets of the cryptocurrency world. ETHgate, right? We got to keep it all in mind. I mean, the Ripple SEC lawsuit is part of the ETHgate scandal, but ETHgate is its own thing, its own beast that, branches off into, other segments of banking and all that. Sure, he could try and thread the needle and somehow claim that XRP is like no other token after claiming that it was like others for over 2 years, which would be backpedaling and wouldn't look good. Second, because of claims of market manipulation and insider trading, they wouldn't set a meeting and run the risk of a leak and influence the market. They would just meet and come to terms if they could, and then only would they report a settlement to the judge. John Deaton continues by saying this unconfirmed source sounds like someone was wanting to orchestrate a pump. And again, going back to the charts, we aren't seeing that pump. So maybe a failed attempt at a pump. Brian Hassine here saying, it's possible a ruling was made. Then it is an opportunity to settle prior to declaring it publicly. Apathetic Catholic saying, agreed completely. We might still see a settlement when Torres makes her ruling on December 30th, 2023. Tom the XRP saying, if Ripple got a big win, why would they then settle? I thought you or someone else mentioned that the SEC would not appeal because a loss at a higher court would send precedent or something for other coins or companies. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, and that's kind of what I was thinking. But, there are a couple of interpretations here. The Bull here saying, I'm just going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. The U.S. is performing clear regulatory framework here in Switzerland. So, in other parts of the world, obviously, they're already seeing the regulatory clarity. Bill Morgan here also agreeing with John Deaton. I finally reluctantly jettisoned my hope for a pre-judgment settlement when BITRUE was sued, and I realized that alleging algo was a security when traded on an exchange was inconsistent with a Ripple settlement that allowed future XRP trading on exchanges. So again, the SEC giving clues to how they are going to, approach the rest of the crypto space and how they are not relenting on the Ripple case. In the meantime, Joxy X French Fries here saying, what's a maximum length of time prediction for a summary judgment ruling now? Could it be another few months? And Bill Morgan just says sometime in 2023 is what Brad Garlinghouse said. So, these time frames, it's seeming like they're going out the window very quickly. The May 8th thing here, kind of just seemed like somebody starting a rumor for whatever reason, whether they wanted the market to pump or whatever. But there's no real substantial information to support this. Bill Morgan was also asking about the Ripple SEC lawsuit vote at the commissioner level. Asking this, does anybody know the date the 5 SEC commissioners had the vote to sue Ripple? Jungle Inc. said, I think the 21st, but I don't remember. And he posted this screen grab from the calendar. Thanks, Jungle, says Bill. However, Jungle did respond saying, I don't know, don't quote me on that. I'm just kind of guessing at this point. But he seemed to think it was the 21st. As I'm scrolling down through this, I did see this tweet here from Mr. Hubert. More people are trying to look for this vote, but it's very, very difficult to find. I don't know if somebody has found it since I recorded this video, if there's more information out there, because I think some people are still looking for this. This is an ongoing treasure hunt. So if you do find it, please do tag me on Twitter, guys. I'm at WorkingMoneyCH. It would be interesting to know because it would speak to what is happening with ETHgate. And the XRP community sleuths have been working hard to uncover even more, guys. I saw this from Digital Asset Buy on Twitter. JP Morgan begins working with Ethereum before the launch. Okay, so he gives a bit of a timeline here. Jay Clayton initiates Venture Capital Working Group, which becomes the BTC/ETH Hinman Free Speech Pass. Jay Clayton sues Ripple while at the SEC, as we know, at the end of 2020. Then Jay Clayton leaves the SEC and joins Apollo Global. Christine Moy runs JP Morgan Digital Assets Division. Christine Moy then leaves JP Morgan to join Apollo Global. You guys seeing a trend here to run their Digital Assets Division? Listen to this.
You should mention, of course, you're still settling in at Apollo after leaving JP Morgan.
That's right. Month 2 at Apollo from JP Morgan. But just to level set for everybody, Apollo Global Management is a $500 billion alternatives asset manager with over 30 years of experience in public and private equities, fixed income, credit, asset management, and insurance and retirement services. We've entered the digital asset space in a very unique way. On one side, looking to be a real-world practitioner of the technology, and this is kind of where my background at JP Morgan was really applicable, in terms of identifying and driving real-world use cases using blockchain technology, putting real-world assets on chain, and then also investing in the space as well, and hoping to create a flywheel where essentially the companies and protocols that we invest in will use and share our cross-asset markets expertise, helping to make those protocols and companies more successful and therefore our investments more successful. So really exciting platforms.
An interesting breakdown. Seems like they want to be top dog in the space, and they surely have the connections. Former JP Morgan executives moving to Apollo Global. More evidence suggesting JP Morgan wants to be in on this game. But Mr. Hubert here on Twitter digging up some of the biggest info. Here's all you need to know. Our big tinfoil hat conspiracy Jamie Dimon talking about how he's afraid of fintech, how JP Morgan will do whatever it takes to stay in power, and some have created monopolies. Guys, listen to this clip. Unbelievable.
Questions that have been asked related to fintech. Jamie, you said you're going to win, right? But based on the valuations of the PayPal and Stripes and Visa and MasterCard, anything that's fintech related, they trounce the valuation of your stock. So I think the market's saying that others are going to win. So how is JP Morgan going to... you said Silicon Valley is coming, what? That was like 6 years ago or something? And then each year we say, yeah, we missed it. Well,
no. Mike, we never said we missed it. We've been doing fine the last 5 years. So it isn't like... But I do agree with you. And I gave that to the management team, my whole operating committee, a little deck that showed Visa $500 billion, MasterCard $350 billion, PayPal $220 billion, Ant Financial $600 billion, Tencent $800 billion, Alibaba trillion, Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon. You can go on and on, but absolutely we should be scared shitless about that.
So how are you going to win? Just what?
I'm not going to tell you. But we have plenty of resources, a lot of very smart people. We just got to get quicker, better, faster, and that's which we do. We've done an exceptional. If you look at what we've done, you'd say we've done a good job. But the other people have done a good job too. Some have monopolies virtually, so it's a whole different issue. But
did you guys hear that last bit? We've done a good job, but there's other companies out there that have done a good job too. Some even have monopolies, he says. And, even earlier on in this clip, he says, well, I'm not going to tell you how we're going to do it. Obviously, there is business strategy involved, but some might consider that response maybe having to do with greasing the pockets of organizations like, I don't know, the SEC. Things that make you go, And I mean, this isn't it either. You guys remember the beef that Vitalik Buterin had with the guys at Ripple when they did not give him the internship? Here's an article outlining that tweet thread from last week. Justin Bond's claiming here that some of these blockchains are not DeFi, singling out XRP as one of them, and, the XRP community lashing back. Well, down here, there was an interesting little tidbit that I should bring up. Matt Hamilton did chime in on this conversation. He clarified that the XRPL had existed for several years before Ethereum was even launched. So somebody was claiming that Ethereum was first. Per Hamilton, Ethereum's co-founder Vitalik Buterin used to sleep on the couch of Ripple's CTO David Schwartz while making moves to get enrolled as an intern at Ripple. Notably, in 2019, Buterin disclosed that he once applied for an internship at Ripple in mid-2013. Buterin, who co-founded Ethereum 2 years later, said he missed the opportunity due to visa-related issues. All right, so there's that beef. We know that Vitalik has been, vocal with negativity surrounding the XRP ledger and Ripple and the currency being a security and what have you. Then he met Joseph Lubin, and the rest is history. The connection there to JP Morgan, obviously, creating a system where they thought they could compete with Ripple, a company that is doing better, a company that already has monopolies, because you got to remember at this point in time, Ripple already did have partnerships with other central banks around the world. And then, guys, the mysterious book, Wave and Ripple from Satoshi Nakamoto. Another one from Mr. Hubert. Did you know that this very author, Satoshi Nakamoto, was making inside jokes about Vitalik Buterin being JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon's assistant? Now, there are no passages from this book posted here, but this is just an Amazon listing for the book. But check this out too, guys. Reviews by Dimon James and Vitalik Buterin. I think maybe some people are just being funny. However, this is a book that does exist. The book entitled Wave and Ripple. Wave and Ripple. It's called Wave and Ripple. So that's another book. And then this one is the official Bitcoin coloring book. But Vitalik Buterin being Jamie Dimon's assistant, I'd like to know more about that. But guys, the real icing on the cake was this. Another great tweet here from Mr. Hubert. JP Morgan's now deleted blockchain timeline from 2016. Check out the timing of JP Morgan filing the SEC lawsuit against Ripple. Critical infrastructure, new services for clients, very exciting. The whole report is now only available via the Internet Archive. So guys, this was posted in 2016, probably in and around the time that Jamie Dimon was, discussing some of these strategies that JP Morgan was trying to implement to combat the other cryptocurrency players in the space, obviously not naming them by name. But it is interesting that this was deleted from the website, okay? So they talk about CDs, trade processing, payment messaging, transaction management, regulatory reporting, right? They talk about open P2P, blockchain-powered economy, digital issued fiat currency. They talk about accrual of blockchain benefits, the initial impact and how we could see the full benefit by these years, okay, 2023, 2030, 2025. So looking into the future, some of these targets have not been hit yet. But check this out, guys, even things like improved liquidity, something that we know Ripple has been targeting for a few years now and has been doing very, very well. Where's JP Morgan in this timeline? It's almost as if they have given up, or maybe they're keeping their products hidden and secret before they finally release them. But it does make you wonder, why are they trying to delete this from history? Of course, you go to the Wayback Machine, November 2016, and this is what was on their website. There is a growing realization that distributed ledger technology, popularly known as blockchain, will bring a radical shift in the way we think about financial assets and the way the financial industry will operate in the future. The blockchain journey is likely to be a long one, and the outcome is uncertain, but a consensus is forming that it is the real deal. Disregarding it is a risk. So they did state this, guys, back in 2016. Blockchain is the real deal. Even though Jamie Dimon was, denouncing cryptocurrencies throughout the bull run of 2017, he has made some offhanded claims. I think it was at Davos this past year where he said, essentially, it's going to be the cryptocurrencies that solve problems that are going to be valuable. All these points, though, fitting together does certainly give more strength to the ETHgate argument. I gotta say, this clip was a great find by Mr. Hubert. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.